Welcome to the Magnetic Man podcast with your host, Daniel White. What we're about here is helping you become a man you can be proud of, who attracts a woman that you're proud to be with. And I'm very honored today to be joined by the man himself, Mr. Jacob O'Neill. And we're going to chat about his journey, his discoveries as a men's coach, how he's developed himself on the journey, how he helps men to this day develop themselves and become the best version of themselves. So, Jacob, welcome to the Magnetic Man podcast. Great to have you here.
Yo, stoked to be here, man, and excited to dive into the topics that we've got on hand. Let's weave some magic.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe you want to give a little bit more of an intro than I gave, a bit of a one-liner. Like, what would you say captures the essence of your work? I know it's hard to put in a box, but yeah, if you could just tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we can jam into some topics.
Yeah, man. The way that I work with men is we provide education, initiation, and brotherhood. We educate you. We give you the blueprint for your internal world. Yeah, great. Create massive impact and do good in the world, but we want you to actually understand and develop a strong sense of self. So we educate you on what that could potentially be. We then provide you the initiatory sequence so you can actually earn your own respect, earn, your stripes, earn the responsibility that you're craving and the power that you want to embody and imbue into the world. But beneath all of that, we want to initiate you back into your sense of worthiness, like help you remember that there's nothing actually wrong with you, that you are already enough. You don't have to go out and earn your worth. Yes, go out and play the game of value exchange, go out and dance and be in the world and relate with all of the different types of things in the world, women, work, nature, cities, material items. Go and learn how to be in the world of money, yes. But inherently, we want to return men to their sense of self that is untouchable, that is eternal. And then when we do that through the power of initiation, we then provide them a brotherhood that can hold them and keep them anchored and tethered to that way of being, so they don't get lost in women, so they don't get lost in work, so they don't get lost in the worldly things that they think they need to be enough. And that's how we do it, man. We educate you, we initiate you, and we give you a place in the circle of men.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that. I love that framework. I definitely want to unpack that a little bit. Maybe if you can just share a little bit about your own journey, Jacob, in terms of your own education, initiation, and brotherhood. Like, were you always this awesome and charismatic? Like, how did you get into this kind of work? What was a tipping point moment for you? I'd love to hear a bit about that.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'll give the condensed version just so I don't end up waffling, but all in all, I was the quintessential nice guy people pleaser. I was very much whatever she wants, she gets, and I'll do whatever I can to make sure that she is comfortable, she is happy, she is okay. And when I say she, insert my mother, insert my sisters, insert my partner, insert someone else that's more important than me. I was very much a man who would adjust and change based on who I was with to make them feel more comfortable. So I didn't really trust myself as a man. I didn't really know myself as a man. And I didn't really understand who I was unless I had something outside of me telling me what they needed me to be. It's a pretty common experience for men to live that way and do the right thing based on what they think the right thing is, which is what I was doing. And then it got to a point in my relationship, it was only about a year in, I believe, and I was doing all the things that I thought I should be doing, and I was, quote unquote, being the good man, the kind man, the giver. And then my partner said, "Hey, like I can't really feel you here.
Mm.
Like, I can't feel you. Like, what do you want?" I was like, "Well, whatever you want." So I didn't understand that leadership was something that was required in relationship. I thought I was just here to be a servant. So for me, for most of my life, I've been a servant to everyone else's needs. I learned that as a child. That's what I learned. Not right or wrong, that was just my wound that I got to learn, that I get to learn through. Huge catalysts for me were a couple of key catalysts was, my first heartbreak and realizing that the fairy tale doesn't always end the way I thought it was going to end, which was a huge blessing because it then made me actually think bigger than my very small view of the world. Then not too long after, one of my friends committed suicide, which then rocked my perception of what was real and what was, what is actually going on inside every person. I'm like, how could I not have known? And I felt this guilt, this shame, this embarrassment, this I had to wrestle with letting go and being and go on the healing journey of realizing I can't save everyone, I can't protect everyone, and not everyone is my responsibility. So those were two really defining moments in my early 20s. The third one was, getting into the relationship with my now wife, and her continually inviting me through her feminine leadership, which is for her to reveal what she can see that I don't have access to because I've been too focused outwardly. She can see what I'm not feeling. So she's been able to guide me back to my truth. And in that, I've been able to take massive, courageous steps in a direction that I never thought my life would take. I always thought I'd be in a 9 to 5. And I don't have anything against 9 to 5s. I think, if that's your path, awesome. I also had to switch and go down the entrepreneur path and be like, actually, I don't want to be an entrepreneur either. I want to be a part of a team. So over the last 10 years, I've tried all these different ways of business and making money and exchanging value. And I've found myself in a position where I'm working alongside three of my close friends, my dear brothers, facilitating men's work. And that all came from, these catalysts or these initiations that I didn't necessarily ask for, but I definitely needed. And more recently, as I've started to understand the cycles of man, I've been able to see that an initiation is coming up. And before it comes up, I'll go and put myself through a rite of passage so I have the capacity to be with whatever the initiation is that's coming. I might not know what it is. It'll just be a feeling. I'm like, I need to go and die so I can be born into this new version of me that's capable of meeting this new level of abundance, this new challenge in my business, this new role of fatherhood. So, man, some other key moments were key moments for me were really, really choosing to step into my own business. That was huge. Working with plant medicines has been huge for me. I've been on the journey for the last 10 years working with medicines from the South Americas and working with my teachers, and that's been a huge part of my journey. And then more recently is actually just acknowledging the path of manhood is one that does not have a destination. This is ongoing. I've got another 70 years on this planet, man. I've got time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And there was so many juicy points in there. Going back to the first NASCAR things, again, I can relate with that so much. I remember even when I was a teenager and I'd go over to my friend's house and say the parents were sitting at a table and eating a packet of chips or crisps or whatever. And I'd always walk in and they're like, "Oh, Daniel, would you like some chips?" Or "Hey, would you like something to drink?" And I would never ever check in with myself and be like, do I actually want something to eat or drink? It was in my head, it's oh, that's impolite. I just be like, "Oh, no thanks," no thanks. But it didn't just stop with parents of friends. That would come across in friendships with men, in dynamics with women, where it's I don't want to bother people. I don't want to be a hindrance. Let me just kind of blend in the background. I think you said when I'm speaking to different people, I will change to accommodate their needs. This is one of the interesting things about the nice guy is he's like a social chameleon. It's hey, who do I have to be in this environment? Do I have to be in this environment? Where for me in my own journey, it's being okay with who you are. And some people are going to like that and some people aren't going to like that. And one of the things the nice guy fears the most is disapproval. He wants everybody to like him. So he abandons his true nature in a lot of ways. And the cool thing is when you are real, yes, you will get criticism, you will get disapproval, but you'll also find your tribe. You'll find your people, your men, your friends, your woman, instead of people who thought you were one thing, but then you ended up being something else.
Exactly my experience, man. Well, you've nailed that. I wanted to be liked by everyone, and the idea, disapproval was death. Disapproval was I'm no longer part of the tribe, and if I'm no longer part of the tribe, I'm on my own, and when I'm on my own, I'm dead. I can't look after myself. I don't know who I am. So for me, like that was a massive thing to actually be okay disappointing people, disagreeing with people. One of my favorite things to say these days is like, "Hey, man, I'm happy to disagree on this.
Yeah,
I'm
I like
happy
that.
to I'm happy to leave this unsolved. Like I don't need to reconnect." And a great question that I've learned to ask myself. This is great for reformed nice guys that may be getting challenged. They can feel that nice guy clawing his way back up to the surface. Is, do I want a deeper relationship with this person? Yes or no? And if it's no, then you don't have to force yourself into something just to create that connection. I've learned that it's like, oh, I actually don't want a deeper relationship with this person, and that's okay. So I don't need to try to accommodate or change or overexert myself. Like, hey, I'm actually good. And that's been huge for me, man, because like once I sorted that out in my relationship, it then started to show up in my friendships
Mm.
more. Like it was like, oh, cool, I got it. All right, I'm now clear with my boundaries and my value and my desires, and there's healthy relating, and we're actually moving with the pulse of love here in my relationship. Awesome. But then I had to learn how to do that with other men. It's like, oh shit, man. Whoa, this is also brotherhood wound. I thought I didn't want to be rejected and abandoned by my lover, but shit, I now have to like dance with the bros. Goodness me, like that was a whole other level. And ironically, and I'm sure you've experienced this yourself, man. Whenever I've had those hard conversations with some of the guys that I do want a deeper connection with, and I've lent in, what's actually revealed itself is this really beautiful, beautiful love between us.
Mm.
Yeah, which I didn't know. I was like, oh, well, I have to be willing to give up what we've got, and we might not be friends after this. Either we're going to be, deeper friends, or the relationship's complete. And I have to be willing to, if it's not true, then I have to be willing to let it go to see what is true.
Yeah. Yeah, to get that clarity, I think, like you said, the nice guy, he's scared of risk. He always wants to play it safe. Like, should I have this hard conversation? I can feel something bubbling up in me, but oh no, and then he'll deflect and distract from it. Because if you have that conversation, like you said, there's a risk that the person doesn't accept what you're saying. The person doesn't want to be in a deeper connection with you, and you could lose that. But I think that's one of the initiations in all types of relationships is being able to speak your truth, like being able to share honestly with someone, knowing that, like, hey, this person could leave me, and they might, but if they don't, your relationship goes to a whole deeper level. And this comes across like if you're talking to your boss at work, if you're talking to your girlfriend or your friend, it's like, for me, it's very revealing about how someone responds to your boundaries. Like they might not agree with it. Like, hey, I don't appreciate it when you do X, Y, and Z. And one approach could be like, how dare you say that? Like, da, 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 this is all your own shit. Now I'm like, is that someone I actually want to be deeper with who responds like that? Or someone could respond with like, hey, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. I just need to sit with it. Like, I can't actually see it the way you see it, but I really appreciate that you could have that honest conversation with me. Now I'm like, I don't need someone to agree with what I'm saying, but can they at least like take it in a respectful way? Those people, I'm like, this is someone I can build with. And I see guys a lot. I work with guys who are in relationships, and they try to have like honest conversations with their girl, and their girl just like flips the fuck out. And I think this is very common. And they're like, oh, it's just how it is. Like, you try to have an honest conversation with a woman, she just goes batshit crazy. I'm like, not really, like sometimes girls might get emotional, but you need to be able to have a conversation that maybe she's not happy about. But if you want to build a life with someone, if you can't have a conversation, it's like you don't even have a foundation to start anything from. I'm going a bit off topic, but
No,
yeah,
that's the essence of it, man. It's like if
yeah.
you contort yourself into a posture that isn't true and
Mm,
misaligned, and you think that you're going to hold that for the rest of your life without feeling some sense of pain that compounds, and ends up and inevitably leads to the collapse of one of three things: your health, your relationship, or your career,
mm,
then you're kidding yourself, bro. And it's the fear talking. And risk is actually what will cultivate your I spoke to a guy that does helps men increase their testosterone levels, and he spoke to me about, risk is actually a really powerful tool for increasing testosterone. It actually helps us cultivate our capacity as men. So risk is actually in service to you, even though it doesn't feel like it. It's in service to the you beneath the story or who you think you are. Like, you think you're a nice guy. You're not. You're a fucking animal, bro. We all
Yeah.
are. Beneath your little cute cuddly heart, there's this cock and a set of balls that want one thing: to fight, fucking feast. And when you build a relationship with that and you learn how to healthily channel that passion, that power appropriately into being able to lead, provide containment, and you channel that energy through your heart and use your mind appropriately as tools, you'll start to live more authentically, and your posture will be aligned so you can access all of these energy centers rather than just collapsing into your heart all the time, because that's not what we need. We don't need more men collapsing into their heart.
Awesome. I'm so glad you hit on some of those points. So what's coming up for me is like, it's like the nice guy is like a fake archetype. It's like I'm pretending to be this thing. It's an energy. It's almost like an entity that the more we feed, the more it kind of takes over our life. Like in the pickup community, the term used to be like white knight. It was this guy's like, I don't want to sleep with women. I'm here for like women's rights. And now it would probably be like a male feminist in that category. But it's like he's playing this role because socially, like, women are like, oh, he's such a great guy. But like deep down, he's pretty much just trying to get laid from it, although he'll never admit it. And so it's so interesting when you talk about this fight, feast, and fuck. Like, this is to me a genuine archetype. One of my mentors, Umrapani, calls it the wolf. Or another guy I know, Jesse Elder, he calls it like the ethical predator, where like there is something savage inside of you. And that doesn't mean you go fucking around murdering people or something like that. But if you like disown that whole part of you, that's going to cause a lot of trouble in your life. And a big way it will show up is like, women aren't attracted to you because they're attracted to your savage nature, which I know you're really passionate about, helping men get in touch with that primal savage nature, which to me is like a true archetype that's kind of been forgotten. And I think in the work that you do is helping reawaken that and helping men connect with that energy inside of them.
Yeah, man. I'd like to tell a quick little, like, sort of, there's a
Go for
story
it.
that portrays this, and I'm glad you used the word wolf. So I think this is a Russian story that our friend Leon tells. He's a mytho-poetic storyteller. Dude, if you ever want to get him on, he's a good guy to have. He'll be a very philosophical, but selfishly, I'd recommend getting him on just so you get to talk to him. But he tells a story called Ivan and the Wolf. And essentially, Ivan is the third born son of a king. He's nothing special. He's plain, he's boring, he's just old Ivan. And anyway, Ivan rides off on this quest that both of his brothers have gone on, but they've got lost in Byron Bay and they got lost in Peru. They got lost selfishly chasing themselves. And Ivan plods out on his horse. And anyway, the first challenge for Ivan is to choose to either kill. He's got to go left or right. Left, he dies. Right, the horse dies. So the first thing that he has to let go of is his pretty horse, his domesticated animal. And when he lets go of the horse, the wolf appears. And he jumps on the back of the wolf. And all of a sudden, it's the time of the wolf, which is the remembering of the wild man within him. So he rides the wolf through kingdoms and goes on many quests. And one of the quests he goes on is to the great she. He rides to the great she, the edge of the world, to meet the woman, the soul. And the woman is, we all have her. She is the great she. We all have this picture of woman that is going to quench our thirst, feed our hunger, and be everything that we've ever wanted a woman to be. And that's what this great she, her name is Alana in the story. And anyway, they get to the wall, and Alana's on the other side of the wall. And plain old Ivan's like, all right, I'll jump over and do it. And the wolf's like, no, you are not. You're just plain old Ivan. What she needs is the wolf. The only thing that will be able to call her back away from the edge of the world is me. I must give myself. So he jumps the wall, and she jumps on the back of the wolf. She's attracted to the beast. And she returns to the other side of the wall, and she rides on the back of the wolf, and her and Ivan sit on the back of the wolf together, right? And over time, she falls in love with plain old Ivan. And that for me is that's what I'm really wanting men to understand is like the wolf is what will attract your woman. And then it's your ability to stay consistent and provide your presence and to be regenerative in how you give and receive from her that will have her stay and have her fall in love with you. Sorry, stay in love with you. So like you've got to be the wild man. You've got to be willing to do the mating dance and be the crazy wolf. And that'll bring her in. She's like, this guy is untamable. Let me try. Let me be devoured by this man. I want to dance with this. And then the second part of that is that you then learn to build intimacy through like showing up, not just being a wolf that comes in, takes what he wants and runs away. You then bring on board Ivan, plain old Ivan. And that's where the work, we call it the bucket work. It's like chop wood, carry water. Not every day is a day for a great quest. Someday the dishes need to be done. Someday you got to do the washing. Someday you got to wake up, make the toast, hop in your car and go out and go to work. Not every day is a good day for a quest. Yeah, so I think that's really pertinent what you were sharing, man. Like you've got to embrace the wolf and the bucket work.
Yeah, man, I love that story because to me, this is like a huge missing piece for guys out there today. There's probably a lot of factors. You could say feminism has been called toxic masculinity, where it's like guys threw the baby out with the bathwater, like more on a personal level. It's almost like I remember growing up in my household with my dad, who was quite like angry. He was quite an angry guy and he used to drink a bit. So it's like I saw almost like the negative side of the wolf, you know, I saw it in its like destructive format. And then as like a young kid, I was like, wow, I didn't like being around that energy. So it's like, I never want to be that. And I like disown my anger, you know, like put it aside. But it wasn't that anger is bad. It's just, it can be used for constructive or destructive purposes. And it was only long time down the road when I started to reintegrate that myself, because to me, like setting boundaries is an act of microaggression, you know, saying no, don't do that. But the nice guy, he's so scared of saying no. He's so scared of that part of himself. It's like, no, I'm just always relax and chill. And that part is so needed. I think like David Data talks in The Way of the Superior Man, it's like she loves the killer in you, or she wants the killer in you. And it's not all that you are. You're not just this crazy aggressive guy, but you need to have access to that part of yourself that makes her feel safe, that makes her feel protected, that does so many things for her, that just connecting on an emotional level, that's an important part as well. But it's like multi-dimensional. It's not just like one thing or the other. You need to have all these facets working for you.
Yeah, bro, you can't be your woman's lover and her gay best friend. You got to pick one.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that, you know, to stir, you know, to stir the pot, but like essentially I am deeply present and I can hold my woman through whatever it is that she's experiencing. Yes. But I also don't indulge in that and only see, like, I have desires as well. And, you know, if I can't access my desires through my woman, then I'm hiding something from her. And it's not that I need to have my desires met, but I must be able to voice my desires and have them known that they're in the space and allow her to find her way to her yes or her no. And then we calibrate and we dance and we actually start to relate. If I don't have any desires, then all I'm doing is just serving. I'm a servant to a queen, not a king to a queen. And that's, you know, that's the thing in that story of Ivan and the wolf. Most men won't even kill their horse. So they never go on the adventure to find out who the wolf is, what the wolf is capable of. They just kill themselves with mundaneness. They kill themselves with modernity, with mediocrity, with hand sanitizer and microwave meals. And they tell themselves that it's normal to get fat when you get older. It's normal to not be able to run and climb and hunt. And all of a sudden, yeah, I'm a vegetarian because it's good for the earth. Are you though? Or are you just scared of what it fucking means to kill? Because I did that, bro. I went and did the vegetarian and the vegan thing, and I was Mr. Peace symbol, and I was hand on heart. And it got me no fucker. It got me, it was just one side. I was just overcorrecting what I thought was wrong, and I was doing what was right. Oh, that's all bad, but I'm good. I'm the good boy. Bro, you're all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so potent. Again, I've been on a similar journey in a lot of ways. And yeah, the more like I integrate, like, yeah, I am the fucking savage. I am the asshole as well. Like integrating all those parts of me that I never wanted to be. And seeing that they actually had a gift waiting for me, that there was actually some use for them in my life was just like such an eye-opening experience because it was always like yeah, I'm this, but I'm not that. But I guess this is shadow work in a nutshell, is integrating your shadow and see in how many ways it serves you. And this is what I love so much about women, whether it's in dating or in relationships, is women will like mirror back to you all those parts of yourself you've disowned, whether it's your aggression, your leadership, the killer in you, whatever it is. And like she will like mirror that back to you. And it's yeah, women were a great blessing to me in my life in a lot of ways. Like you mentioned, heartbreak. Like I got heartbroken by women so many times, but they're always reflecting back. Like you're missing something, you're missing something. And thank God they did, because that set me on a journey to like go discover these things about myself. So yeah, it's like you say, you don't want to get lost in women, but it's so interesting how women are such a good initiation in many ways for men, a good mirror. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, man. I think that women are a huge catalyst for men's growth. Most men won't do anything until a woman leaves them.
Yeah.
And then they realize the job they were in was really only just to perpetuate the servant role in their relationship. So it's like, fuck, this job was only propped up because I had someone to give the money to keep me in this job. Now that she's gone, fuck, what do I even want this? So it's like, for a lot of men, it takes a relationship to dissolve for them to actually do something about their what's going on. It's not that way as much anymore. I'm having a lot more men reach out and be like, hey man, I know I want more, and I know that I just don't know how to do it. I know that I want it. And this is the shift from like, most men are problem unaware to guys are like, oh dude, I know there's a problem, to being like problem overwhelmed, where it's like, oh, the problem is now punching me in the face. I have to do something about it. So what I believe is that women can, from a place of love, really support men to reattune to the sensitivity of their soul. That's a real gift. Hey, my love, I can see that you're struggling. Like if you have a man in your life, if you're a man and you have a woman in your life, you can ask her like, hey, where do you see me? Where do you see me stepping out? Like, where do you see me out of integrity? Like, where do you see me still struggling? And if you give her permission and you listen to her, she'll be able to see what you're not feeling. This is the gift of the feminine in the form of leadership. She can see what you're unable to feel. I don't know about you, bro, but I was taught not to feel. I was taught to think. And I was taught to make sure everyone else was feeling good, but don't worry about what I'm feeling. Don't look at what I'm feeling. Walls, walls, walls. No, it's not about me. It's about you. You're important, not me. So when you actually say, hey, can you take a good hard look at me? Like actually see me? It's fucking terrifying. Like being seen by a woman is fucking, it feels very, very exposing. They're like, hey, it's important that you're important to me and I trust you. And if, this takes time, man. It takes time to do this. And I need, and can you see something that I'm not currently feeling? Now, if you don't have a relationship, then a really great place for this to occur is in Brotherhood. Like I'm sure you've got, your programs and stuff. Like when you actually have other men that are willing to like point towards something that you're avoiding, it's a fucking blessing, man. Like that's love. That's true friendship. Not lying to me saying, no, man, no, you're doing the best you can. But am I? Or am I just lying to you? Am I just lying to myself? Am I just doing what's comfortable because I know that path? When the mountain's actually calling. The road less traveled is calling, man. Like, let's fucking, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good segue into the work that you do. I know you have this event, the Gathering of Men. I'd love to hear more about that. But this was something that was also missing for me. I went on the whole like pickup journey. I sucked with girls and ended up getting really good. And it helped me in some ways, but it was also like over importance on the woman, woman, woman. Do women like me? Woman, woman, woman. It also like leads to you being underdeveloped in a lot of other areas. And it was only once that I'm like, okay, can get the girls, okay, business is doing well, but there was still like something missing. And then I started focusing more on the brotherhood aspect of it, the tribe of men, like building that
Mm.
type of nourishment. And to me, that was like a huge revelation of like, wow, this is, I wouldn't say the missing piece, but it's a huge part of the puzzle. So, yeah, I'm just curious to hear you speak more about the power of brotherhood, not relating to women, not relating to money or something like that, but just the power of having men around and men coming together. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, man. I did a podcast with a guy named Traver Boehm. He runs Man Uncivilized. He's a really cool guy. I took a lot from his shares with me, and he asked a really great question. If women didn't exist, what would you stop doing, and what would you start doing?
Question.
And I couldn't believe I couldn't believe what my whole body went into overwhelm. I was like, well, no, like I'm a man, I'm a husband, I'm a family, like I protect her. I was like, oh, fuck, man, I've never actually considered what I would do if women didn't exist, and what I would stop doing. Like, oh, holy shit! Still, a part of me is still doing this for women. So that's the first part there, man. That I'd invite men to like to calibrate, because quite often, you like you said, I came into the work too. It's like, oh, I'm doing this for the family, for women. I'm doing this for my partner. And same with the pickup culture and the pickup world. It's like, I'm doing this to get what I never got. I'm learning how to actually build attraction and get access to women, where before I never had this. So what we're learning is we're learning how to relate, but we're still using surface level formulas. We're still formulating our approach rather than learning to be with the deeper truth. We're still using a sequence rather than actually like breathing and being with what is. There's still an outcome, a perceived checkpoint that we're moving towards. So the deeper part of the work that we invite men into is like, what's the emerging truth? What's alive right now? And that can only come from being in what I call like a space with other men that are devoted to depth, beyond money, beyond women, beyond legacy. It's like we're here to go deeper than we've ever gone before into ourselves. And we call this like the descent into the soul, like deep into the soul world, not the heart. We're not going into our emotions and being all emotional. We're not going into our thoughts and figuring out how to get to where we want to go. It's like, no, let's go deeper than that. What's it like to experience eternal stillness and actually not need to change anything at all about this moment? What if it was okay to just be? And that has been revelatory for me, man. And then my practice is to only move at a pace where I can maintain my sensitivity. At any point I move too fast, I start to get into overwhelm or activation or thought. And then my practice is to breathe and come back to my center and then take another step. And for me, that has been the essence of cultivating my masculine leadership. It's not about how fast I can get it somewhere. It's not about how quickly I can move there, but how deeply can I find myself in this moment and then move at a pace where I can stay connected to my sensitivity.
Yeah. 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 And how do you see this also coming up with the men that you work with? Like say at the gathering of men, how many guys usually show up for that event?
We normally get between 150 and 200 guys for this, which is cool.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And then obviously all those guys are kind of different levels of their own journey. How is
Yeah.
it being around a big group of men or seeing other men go first that kind of awakens something in the other guys? I'm curious, like what have you noticed being their experience of coming to events like this?
When we have that many men, what we get is this beautiful diversity of men at different stages of their journey in the work. but also at different stages of the journey in their life. So we have 65-year-old dudes that have been there, done that. We have the 23-year-old that's done all the personal work, but he's got no life experience. We've got the 35-year-old guy that's just had 3 kids, and for the first time in 5 years, he's actually taken a weekend for himself. You know, we've got the guys in their 40s that are crushing it in business, but their relationship's wobbling. You know, we've got the young entrepreneurs in their late 20s, early 30s that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, but they are still playing into that, I figured out the formula. I'm still not at the depth. So we've got this beautiful range and this beautiful ecosystem of man. And there's all these different versions of man, and they all become a beautiful mirror for the entire field. So everyone plays a very specific role in what they bring, whether that's to go first or to give the opportunity to witness another man going first. And over the course of the weekend, some guys are a permission slip. Other guys are the ones that are like, oh, it's finally my time to be the first. I've been in the room before, and I know what it takes to step in, and I know how important it is to be that guy that goes first. I get to be that this time. So throughout the entire weekend, man, and we have a beautiful arc that we take the men on. We have 15 different experiences that they go through over 4 days. They get the opportunity to really experience, the hero's journey within the hero's journey within the hero's journey, and they get to almost play a different archetype at different stages of the journey. Sometimes it is the fuck, man, I'm the first in for the warrior, but then when it comes time to be with the inner child, they're like, shit, I don't want to go in, and then that's when the brotherhood guides him into the center of the circle. With the warrior, he jumps into the center. With the inner child work, we just gently pick him up and bring him in. But hey, man, it's safe for you to be here. And that's the beauty of it, man. Like the power and the technology of a circle of men is that it can hold whatever is emerging. And that's like, man, I truly believe that all the problems that we face as a society, brotherhood is the medicine. And when I say brotherhood, I don't mean locker room. I don't mean sport. I don't mean competitive. I don't mean business brotherhood. I mean true brotherhood. Brotherhood that is committed to the depth of the soul. And that's, for me, what men's work is. Men's work is a group of men standing in a circle, committed to connecting to the depths of their being.
I love that. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing. And we'll put the links down to all of those. I know you have one coming up soon. I definitely recommend guys jump on that.
And we've got Robert Glover coming as well, who wrote.
I saw that on a recent post. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we've literally got what we've been talking about. We've got the guy that kind of coined that and developed that, and a lot of the work, I do and many of the other guys do is all, thanks to him. So he's going to come and give a really good talk on what it means to move beyond the nice guy.
Amazing. Got one of the OGs himself gonna be there. So
yeah.
I'm curious, where do you kind of see from more a high level, like the state of masculinity in the world? I think the work that you do is very important, and it goes much beyond a bunch of guys in a field and a couple tents. Like, what do you think is emerging in the field of masculinity right now on more of a global consciousness level?
Yeah, man, I think that there's going to be a slowing down, and I think that there'll be less. I think there need, like, what I would hope is that there is a return to quality, and quality takes time. What I see in that is, like, I don't think it's going to get easier. I don't think it's going to become more peaceful. I think we're going to go through a season of I think there's a dark night of the soul for all of us. I don't think everyone's going to make it. I think there's some deep work that needs to happen for us to really, really get to the core of what's really, really wrong with society and culture. I really think it's going to take a decent amount of work for all of us. And I'm excited about that, but it's also, the reality is that not every man's going to make it. And in that, I trust that, throughout the course of the work that we do, if I continue to do it from a place of I'm providing myself whatever I need to be initiated into the next level of my becoming, then I know that the work I'm providing is in service to the emerging culture of man, the emerging culture of masculinity, which is one that moves slowly and has quality as the primary focus. And it's not sustainable, it's regenerative. I don't think I want to sustain what society has created. I think there's things that need to fall away. And I think the destruction that we're experiencing across the world of cultures, of fucking children and entire fucking nations, like, that's not okay. But same, it's not okay that we're chopping down the fucking Amazon. It's not, these things should not be happening, but they are. And they get to be very clear reflections of the internal world. Like, hey, where am I still not focusing and coming back to me? Where am I still reaching to try and fix and solve and save? That, I believe, is where we're going to come back to a sense of, fuck, man, like, why do I need something to be wrong just so I can go out and fix it, just so I feel good enough? That in turn will lead to a slowing down, a remembering that we are nature, and then we will no longer need to construct as much or deconstruct. So, like, I don't know about, well, you're in Bali, so you can see the power, you would see the destruction that comes from construction, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To construct something, you need to destroy something first. So I think that there's too much construction that's leading to the destruction. I don't think the destruction is the result. The construction is the actual problem. And then the problem being the construction is cool. That's the problem. Why is the problem there? It's because we don't believe that we're enough. As men, we think that there's something wrong with us and we need to prove ourselves. So we keep trying to build more fucking villas, more fucking skyscrapers, more fucking highways, more fucking, I don't know, more furniture, more fucking TVs, more t-shirts. Like, we're just building more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to me. I almost like see like a split happening. Like, you got some men where it's just getting worse and worse. These guys are addicted to porn. They're playing video games all day. They don't even want to relate with women. They're terrified of women. They not contributing in a value exchange. They just almost like turning into like vegetables.
Yeah.
And I think it's only going to get worse for those men. Now there's AI. Now there's AI girlfriends. Soon there's going to be AI girlfriend robots. And it's like, it's just going down into this like hellhole descent. But then on the other hand, and it's almost opposite, it's not really together. It's like in the opposite direction. You got stuff like you're doing, where helping men come back into their power, connect back into these things. So, what do you see for all these men where it's just like, it's almost like they've given up. That's the sense I get. They've just given up on life. Yes, life maybe hasn't been easy for them, but it's just like, oh, what's the point? What's the point of trying to build something with my life? What's the point of trying to get a girl? She's just going to cheat on me anyway. There's like this heavy victim mindset. And it's so sad. Like, even just me speaking about it, I'm like, brother, like, there's so much more to you than that. But I just see so many guys, and in increasing numbers, it seems, it's just like pulled into like this despair, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah, man. I think that the only way that I know to move forward is to go deeper within myself. Like, I feel that too, man. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, literally smash your phone, smash your computer. Like, but I also know that that's not the answer as well, because I'll just go and buy a new phone. I'll just go and buy another computer. That's why brotherhood is the medicine. You can't save all the men. I can't save all the men. But just by having this conversation, we're doing what we can. So, like, for me, it's like, hey, bros, stop doing all that shit, please. And I can't tell you what to do. I'm going to just continually do my best. I'm going to have conversations and create events and do the work that I know is necessary. But I'm also going to no longer abandon myself trying to save you. And I'm actually going to go deeper within myself so that I can no longer hold judgment around how you're behaving. And from that, I can create a potential field for you to actually see a way out. Because there's nothing actually wrong with what you're doing. It's just a result of living misaligned in a society that told you that what you're doing is okay. And what you're doing is actually good for you. And it's actually the best way to do it. And you are right. Being a victim is your path. But the truth is that's not the way. So for me, it's like I have so much judgment. Like I'm actually incredibly judgmental because I'm extremely observant. I'm extremely vigilant. One of the up levels of the nice guy when you start to coach as a man is like you become really fucking sharp at facilitating. But it also feeds a judgment loop of like, oh, these men need to do this. These men need to do that. So these men don't need to do anything. They get to do it if they want to, or if life asks them in a loud enough way. And my practice is to make sure that I create a regenerative experience within myself so that I can serve from a non-judgmental place as often as possible. It's like, hey, bro, what you're doing is just the result of your choices. And if you want to choose something else, then this is the way. Daniel and I have just had a really great conversation around how, what I learned through my whole teen years, my childhood and my early 20s, once I actually started to look in different books and different rooms and spend times with different teachers, I learned there was a different way to do life, which meant that I had to be like, oh, fuck, I don't know everything. Oh, fuck, maybe not everything is as certain and as rigid as I once thought. And then that's why if we circle right back, man, the education is important. Men need to understand something so they feel safe to choose it. Men who get initiated without first being educated will quite often regress and then blame whoever it was that initiated them. And that will create a victim loop. So we educate men. We say, hey, bro, here's the initiation cycle. Hey, bro, here's your nervous system. Hey, bro, here's the emotional waterfall and why it's important for you to see where you're regulating, whether it's with immature or unskillful tools or whether you're using skillful tools. You're still regulating above the thing. And all of a sudden, all of these models and all of this education, they're like, oh, fuck, man, I know I need this. I need this rite of passage. So we guide them through education to choose what it is that they need without us having to force them into it or haze them or come and grab them in the nighttime and kidnap them and put them through some military bullshit. This is the deeper work that I believe we are imbuing into our culture is like, how do we actually speak to men so they choose this for themselves? How do we make this work so clearly the next step in their journey that the porn, the video games, the fucking AI girlfriends are like, well, I could choose that, but that's actually, I now have the awareness that that's not what I need. This is what I need.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more of like a gentle invitation. You're creating the space, you're not forcing anyone in there, but you create this resonance within yourself, and maybe there's something deeper with him that might not know why he's drawn to you and your work, but he just feels a pull and he reaches out and he has the courage to take that first step. And that can be the start of a beautiful journey. I wanted to talk to you a little, Jacob, in terms of the idea of family and fatherhood. I think this is such an interesting topic. I know each man has their own journey. Maybe one guy just wants to be like a solo monk his whole life, but I think family's a big part of it. And I used to be like kind of one of those guys where I was like, oh, marriage, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Like they just want to get you. It's just a piece of paper. It doesn't mean anything. But to me, I'm actually getting married in November. And to me,
Yo,
it actually,
congrats, man.
thanks,
Congrats.
thanks,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah.
Oh, stoked, man. Great to hear that. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, sure. And to me, it actually does mean something. Not that a government has to tell me, oh, I'm legally married, but to me, it's like a commitment. It's a ritual. Like I'm committing to this person. I want to build a family with this person. And to me, I'm seeing it more the sacred side of it. So, yeah, I know a lot of guys are kind of like, and I can see where they're coming from. They're just kind of pissed off, like, oh, why would I get married? She'll just take me for half my shit and like all of these kind of things. But again, as we're talking about archetypes, I think the archetype of husband or the archetype of father are also like being abandoned in a lot of ways by men today. They just want to be like solo and by themselves, which is cool in some regard. But also, I feel like a lot of men could serve in a lot of ways the things they've learned, serve a family or lead a family or have children and be able to pass on that wisdom to the next generation. So I'm just curious in your own personal journey, how have you seen like the idea of the ritual or the union of marriage and then that turning into fatherhood? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
All of what you share, bro, thank you. Thank you. Like because I think, even from like because I've watched you for quite a while, and I was like, oh, I don't really vibe with what Daniel's about early on. I was like, oh, that's so different to what like the dating stuff and what you do. And then to hear like, oh, you've literally exposed yourself to so much of the information. Then you've found your way back to this, the greatest risk that a man will take is to commit to a woman for the rest of his life. Everyone that's like, oh, I don't think, no, marriage is, dude, you're scared to take one of the biggest risks of your life. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be afraid. No, I'm not afraid. I just know that, dude, you don't need to pretend anymore, dude. It's fucking terrifying. She could take all your shit. She could break your fucking heart. She could leave and take your kids. Like, that's the thing. You are exposing yourself to the greatest risk. And it's scary. I get it. But if you don't, you're missing out on one of the greatest gifts that life wants to give you. The opportunity to go on a journey for the rest of your life with someone that wants to do that with you. To literally go and create something that you could not create on your own. Don't fucking tell me that marriage is this or that. No, you're just lying because you're scared. And it's okay to be scared. I'm not saying that being scared is wrong. I was terrified. I spiritualized and said, yeah, no, we don't need the piece of paper. Turns out we needed the piece of paper. Turns out, oh, wow, no, this means something to us. Oh, fuck, man. Like, this is a declaration. This is a invocation of love and commitment. And beyond that, it's an invocation of a devotion to something greater than either of us. That's got weight, And to hear, speak about it, man, to have all of those stories and to be fed all of that, just like I was, just like so many men are, that marriage is this. Oh, it's just so she could. And, for a lot of men, they've experienced that. I've seen guys in the family courts, no access to their kids. I've seen guys bled dry hundreds of thousands of dollars in court fees, in child support, in all that they've worked for, ripped from them. And they had to go through that because they weren't listening. And I don't wish that upon anyone, and I don't think it should have happened, but it happened. And it's, for me, you have to see marriage as a commitment and a huge risk. And you must treat it with the weight that it carries. It's like, it's not a small decision. And this is where I think men don't understand. It's like they either avoid it or they do it without really understanding what they're saying yes to. So for me, man, marriage is one of the greatest risks that leads to the greatest reward that you'll ever experience in your life. I truly believe in marriage. And I'm not Christian, and I'm not into the Bible. I'm not into fucking traditional roles for the man and woman. I'm not into that old school alpha red pill bullshit. I believe that marriage is one of the greatest risks you'll ever take. And as a man, it will give you the greatest reward. A woman that you get to spend the rest of your life with, that you get to learn to love in all of her forms, that will one day birth your children, that will give you a whole nother level of accountability and mirror that you never knew. You thought personal development was fucking hectic, man, to be in a room for 3 days. Like, imagine what it's like to never not have, like, for the last 10 months, I've got this little thing saying, hey, be present. Hey, I need this. Hey, I need this. Hey, I need this. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Parenthood is like personal development without a day off. It's like full time. So like, this is, I think that, the reason that we're seeing, the avoidance of like the decrease in marriage, the lack of men having sex, the lack of children. Like, I think that's all because men are scared to take risks. And if you start to take risks in your personal life, like, fuck it, I'm going to throw down $5,000 with Daniel and go to his retreat, or go to and do his program, because fuck it, I do want to learn more about myself. I do. Or, I do want to come to the gathering of men because fuck it. Or I do want to fucking quit my job and go traveling India for 3 months. Like, you take those risks, you will discover who you truly are, and who you truly are will start to live. Therefore, the curriculum for your life will start to expose itself to you. And then the woman just arrives, man. You don't go looking for her. She happens by divine intervention and synchronistic. The universe is like, here she is. And then the person that you're meant to start a business with arrives. And then they fuck you over, and you learn about discernment. And then you learn about it with the next business. Oh, this is the thing that I must make sure I take care of. And then the next person comes along, and you have to learn to trust them. And then before you know it, a kid's here. and then you're living in a home and you've got the responsibility, you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you realize you've got to actually ask for help again. Like, you can't, life wants to be lived through you, man. And the only way you do that is by taking the appropriate risks at the right time. And there's no right time. There's just the rite of passage that will show you that there is no time like the present.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well said. Yeah, I think for me in my own journey, it was kind of like I said, started off with the nice guy, which I think is like a fake archetype. But then I went into another fake archetype, which is kind of like the fuck boy archetype, where it's just like, oh, me and the girls, and I can get another girl, I can get another girl. And I built this skill set of seduction. But then it was almost like it was like a comfort zone, you know? It's like if there was real intimacy available, I'd be like, oh, fuck that. You know, like, why would I risk that? I'm just going to go to the club and pull some chick tonight. And I don't know, maybe some guys need to go through that. I think I needed to go through that, or that was my path for whatever reason. But then after that, I've always wondered, like, what am I scared of? You know, and before when I was an ask, I'm like, I'm scared to go up and talk to a woman. Like, that was like terrifying for me. So I kind of found that followed that. And then after that, it was like, no, I'm not scared to go up and talk to women, you know, like that's not a thing for me anymore. But I am scared to be vulnerable. I'm scared to be at risk of heartbreak. You know, I'd had my heart broken so many times. It was so painful. I'm like, I don't want to go through that ever again. But then I was abandoning all these other beautiful journeys. And like that almost led me. It's like, not that I have to get married, but it was almost like that's what's calling me now, you know? And yeah, it's just been such a wild ride to get to this point, because I've seen guys kind of get lost with the woman thing, and then they're like, always about like how many girls I have, but it's like, bro, how are you going to build something? You know, like what are you going to pass this on to? And the final point on this, it's like, I notice also my thoughts, it can be like increasingly almost like narcissistic, like where it's always about me and like, oh, but wait, if I have a kid, like I'm not going to be able to like sleep in, or like, what if my sleep gets disrupted? And I'm almost like, why the fuck? Like on one hand, it's good to like think of yourself and put yourself forward, but then I also feel like whether you're married or whether you have a kid, it's more like, yeah, dude, like other things are important, not just me and my vices all the time. You know, it's like being able to step up and serve people that, yeah, there's going to be a crying baby and maybe you do want to sleep, but guess what? Like it's got to be done sometimes. So yeah, it's wild to hear you speak about it. I appreciate
Mm.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And I'm excited for you, man, to go through the portal of marriage. It's like nothing changes, but everything changes. It's like, oh, I remember waking up after the wedding and being like, oh, I'm still Jacob, you're still Meg.
Yeah.
But it was like there was a difference to it was like, oh, we didn't have to, it's like, oh, now we just get to rest into the rest of our lives. Cool. I'm excited, but I'm also like, let's just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how did you find it in terms of like fatherhood? I know, I think you said your child's just under a year still. Like, what has that done to you, your psyche versus getting married? Were there different elements that kind of came up for you, or you learned about yourself? Yeah, I'd love to hear
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, very, very, very different actually, man. Like the wedding was like almost like an acknowledgement of the work we'd done to create the relationship we had, and we're like, I know that this is designed to go the distance. So this is an honoring and a celebration of our love.
Mm,
When Oshin, my son, arrived, it was almost as if I'd wanted this for so long and now I had it. My practice was just to be with the fact that I now have what I wanted. I wanted to become a father. Awesome. Now I get to be with it. And I'm like, oh shit. I've been so used to not getting what I want, like most of my life, that now that I've got what I want, I was like, whoa, what do I do with this? What do I actually do? And it's like, oh, you enjoy it. Oh, but I don't enjoy my life. I struggle. I suffer. I don't get to enjoy myself. I don't get what I want. Everyone else gets what they want, and I make sure of that. But oh, fuck. And my son was born the day of the Gathering of Men last year. So the
wow.
Gathering of Men, there was 200 men on the land. I organized it. I sold it. I, you know, developed it and created it and worked on it with 3 other dudes. But essentially, it was my baby. I said, hey, bros, I trust you. And then, my son was born whilst 200 men were out there doing the work that, that I had to let go of. I was like, I want to, but the work, men's work is not Jacob's work, it's men's work. So it was beautiful to be able to receive from that event what I needed by being able to step away from it and focus on my family. But man, it was huge for me to actually realize that it's, and one of the things that I think, is part of the nice guy, the healing of the nice guy is like, it's okay to actually get what you want. It's okay to enjoy and enjoy what you've created. You don't have to give it away. So it was super sacred to have Osh come into my life, and he has been a huge mirror, and he's been showing me where all of my judgments on myself, like he looks at me and he doesn't give a fuck. But I look at myself and I see, well, you don't own a house, you don't have $1 million in the bank, your business isn't as solid as it should be, you have this debt here and this debt here, and I've got all of these ways to prove that I'm not good enough. And he's just like, hello, hey mate. And it's just like, oh, you want to just hit the drum and read this little book? Oh, dude, he doesn't give a fuck. He just wants presents. And that's not to stop me from actually, looking after and tidying up all of these areas. He's definitely shown me where I've been avoiding some of my responsibility in regards to where the family's going. Like I've always had a hard time taking full responsibility for the vision of the business and then also the accounting. I'm like, I'll do the vision, but fuck the finances. Now I'm like, oh, I actually have to. The vision's still important, but I need to come back to planet Earth and take my time. So he's been showing me, who I am at my core, man. It's fucking crazy, and it's meant to be confronting. It's meant to be confronting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's so cool to hear you speak about that. And yeah, I know you mentioned like plant medicine earlier. How do you see that kind of facilitating men's work or men's journeys or the way they view their lives? Obviously, it's a huge topic in and of itself. But what do you think are the important points for guys to know about this? How that it can potentially help them?
Yeah, if you feel the call, open yourself to it. Like I didn't realize how. I'm only just realizing now, man. I've avoided speaking about it because I've not wanted to bastardize it or be seen as the guy that's spruiking it. But man, without plant medicine, I would not have been able to create what I've created. Without plant medicine, I would not have been open to the level of healing and connection and love that I've experienced with my wife, my child, my family, my friends. Like nothing would be possible without my connection to nature. And I found that through the plants. And I've worked with huachuma, which is a beautiful cactus from Peru. I've worked with ayahuasca, which is the amazing medicine of the jungle. I've worked with peyote, which is another beautiful cactus. I've worked with bufo, which is from the toad in Mexico. I've worked with psilocybin. It's a beautiful medicine as well. Uncle mushroom. I've explored many different realms, but for me, huachuma, the cactus, it's the grandfather medicine, and they call it the decapitator, and it literally takes you from your head down into your body, and it doesn't force you, but it will invite you to meet it. It's not a medicine that will take you somewhere. It says, hey, would you like to come on a journey with me? And if you keep showing up and not fully showing up, it'll say, hey man, what are you doing back here? You know what you need to do. So the medicine work for me, man, has been a really beautiful place for me to be humbled and for me to be reminded that this is an ongoing journey. And also that, sometimes I'm not just healing for myself, I'm healing for my lineage. And I'm connecting to some ancient things, and I'm doing some deep work on behalf of humanity. And I don't think men fully understand just how important it is that we all take ownership of that, and we all take a little bit of responsibility for doing some deep healing work. Yeah, it might not, win you the award in your, in your category or your industry. Maybe you won't earn that extra 10 million or that extra 10 grand, or maybe you'll have to wait a little longer for what you want. But believe me, it'll make you a better fucking human. It'll make you a more real person, and it'll give you a genuine appreciation for the natural world that you may have overlooked. And maybe you won't feed the construction of more false truths that men need more fucking skyscrapers and bright lights and fucking just shit. Like the plants will remind you of how to live regeneratively rather than sustainably. I would rather live regeneratively with the truth than sustain a lie, even if the truth hurts. And that's the issue. And that's why, sustainability, yeah, what are we sustaining? Is this actually what we want? I don't want to sustain the way society is right now. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's well. I would rather let life be regenerative, go through these cycles of death and rebirth so we can actually live in accordance with our natural state. Because at the end of the day, man, we are nature. We're not AI. We're not, it's beautiful to have this conversation across the planet
Yeah.
on a computer, but we're not, this isn't who we are.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think that's also a big way our attention gets captured. Even in my own personal life, I can feel it. Like sometimes I got something to do, and then I have this other force in me that's like, just fuck off and look on your phone or whatever. And then like an hour goes by, and you're like, what the fuck did I just do? And it's like you said, these phones in our hands and these things just pulling us in all the time. And I know you've mentioned a few times like nature, nature, nature. I see that being a big part of, I don't know, whether men work or just the world going forward, is like disconnecting from the phones, the social media, the this, that, and just getting out in nature. It doesn't mean you never use a phone or a laptop, but yeah, that seems like a big piece.
Yeah, man. We reorient our access to the infinite through nature. And then we just use our phones and our laptops as if they were a hammer or a battery drill, just the way a carpenter would building a house. Oh, cool. I got a podcast with Daniel today. Jump on, I use it. Do I need to jump on Instagram after this? Not really, no. Do I feel the impulse? Yes. I'm not going to. I'm just going to go out, talk to my wife, hang out with my son for a bit, then go sauna. It's like, cool. When we understand these technological advances like computers, phones, social media as just tools, and we reorient our access to spirit and infinite and to energy through nature, because nature is regenerative by its default beingness. Like a tree grows and then it drops its leaves, and then it grows and drops leaves, grows and drops leaves. It goes through the cycles of the seasons. When we reorient ourselves to that and we focus on receiving energetically and drinking from nature, we start to feel the seasons within ourselves. Because Instagram doesn't have seasons. It'll just go on and on and on and on and on. Porn just goes on and on and on and on. And we deplete ourselves and we sustain an activated, uninspired, sanitized way of being, which inevitably leads to disease, which inevitably leads to disconnection. So what we do is we reorient ourselves to nature. Therefore, we become regenerative. And then we just use these motherfucking things as tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just recently, we just built a place up here in the mountains of Bali, and we're just in the jungle, like away from everything. And it's been so interesting, even over the last 6 months, is just to watch the seasons. Like, okay, things are flowering now. Okay, things are dying now. And you kind of see it. Like, I've lived in cities before, but it always kind of seems like constant. Where yeah, it's like, oh, it's the rainy season. Oh, now we haven't had rain in 3 months. And like, even just small little notes of, as you mentioned, those cycles, it's just been so interesting to watch, and how out of the cycle of nature, the cycle of life in many ways, you can be when you're just on the phones or screens or in a city or just caught up in yeah, I don't even know what you call it, falsehood. So yeah, the cyclical, seasonal nature of life, I think, needs to be acknowledged and honored.
Massively, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, when it's only through observing nature that you become aware of that, because
Yeah. Very true.
social media doesn't go through like all of a sudden in winter you can't like see fewer posts. you know, you're not like, oh, like there's not as many posts on social media.
Yeah,
Oh,
must be winter on social media.
yeah. Oh, so what I believe, it's one thing to sustain a lifestyle that keeps you sick but comfortable. It's another thing to be regenerative and actually let yourself go through the seasons and be okay with the discomfort of death and be with the rebirth. And, when the sun's shining, enjoy it. When winter comes and it's cold, you know, and this is, you know, it's an act of defiance to actually live in accordance with the seasons these days. It's an act of defiance to take a Sunday off. You know, there's a reason people are turning towards religion, because it gives them a framework for that sits outside of society's, you know, bullshit, where we always have to be on. So, man, like, I think the thing that also, you know, getting back into nature, it actually gets us back into our local environment as well. So we become aware of what, you know, you'd be aware of different trees and birds and bugs than I would be. You know, we've got black cockatoos, and we've got, you know, beautiful sea eagles, and we've got the black swans that have just had their I think they're called cygnets or something. They're baby swans, and they're walking down the street here, and it's like, oh, this is the season. Like, spring is coming. Oh, it's getting a little bit warmer. It's starting to rain a bit. Yeah, we're coming out of the cold, dry winter. Oh, I'm looking forward to a bit more sun. I really want to go. I can feel myself wanting to get back to the ocean. Ah, cool. Oh, I'm nature. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not meant to be fucking sat at a computer 24/7. I'm not meant to be plugged in and sustaining this way. I'm actually, and this is huge for men because women have it built into their bodies. Women have a menstrual cycle. So they will have a season within every 20, a cycle of the 4 seasons every 28 days. We don't have that inbuilt. We have to create that frame for ourselves by placing ourselves within nature.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And just as we look to wrap up, and I'd love to hear more about the Gathering of Men Festival, where guys can find out more information about that. What are some of your go-to practices, whether that's reconnecting with nature, is that going for a walk, is that meditation, is that breath work? I'm sure there's a lot of things that you got going on, but what are some of the tools you use on a daily or weekly basis to keep you connected, grounded, those types of things?
Amazing, man. So there's 4 things that they say that the shaman will ask you. I think you've probably seen this. It's like, when did you stop singing? When did you stop dancing? When did you stop spending time in stillness? And when did you stop listening to the stories from the old ones? That's what's actually causing sickness. So I have one for each of those categories, man. So for me, stillness in nature is so important, even if it's just in my backyard. Sometimes I'll just go and stand in the backyard with my son, and I'll just be like, sit there, and we've got like an orange tree, and we've got like a few other trees, and the grass is all ripped up. But I'll just stand there, a few tomato bushes, and I'll just stand there, and I'll just give myself some stillness. The dog's running around, and I'll just orient myself back to stillness. So a stillness practice is really great. I'll be honest, I haven't had much of a stillness practice with my son and my business and my life, so I can't say that I've been in integrity there. But if you can, create a stillness practice where at the same time every day in the same location, you spend time being. You don't breath work, you don't meditate, you don't mantra, you don't journal. You just sit and give yourself 15, 20 minutes to just observe where the noise is, where the story is, and come back to stillness. And for me, the best place to do that is in nature. So if you can walk somewhere and get access to nature, awesome. Even if it's just a patch of grass. Best to do it near a body of water if you can. The second thing is song. I love to sing. And I think singing is a really great way to bring ourselves into alignment. They say when you sing, you pray twice. So your prayer is twice as powerful. So I sing and I play music. So I play guitar and I play medicine drum and I play flute and I just sing. I sing whatever my heart wants to sing. And I'm not the best musician, but I'm the best at being me. So my music is a real flavor of my heart. So I believe that every man should be singing. You've got a South African accent, yeah?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, bro. Some of the rugby songs that they sing,
Yeah.
I watch so much South African song, man. Like Africa has such rich voice. Like song is so powerful. So like for you, man, like if for anyone, like I sing songs from Ireland because I've got Irish roots. I've never been there. I've never actually, but I sing an Irish song. It moves me. You know, we sing songs. We have a couple of songs that we sing from Africa, and I just feel them. I almost feel the desert. I feel the richness of the jungles. I feel the vastness of Mama Africa when we sing. I'm like, whoa, we're waking something up here. I'm connecting to something great. And so song is huge. Find your song, find the song of your people and start to work with it. Use your voice. The third one is dance or movement. So I don't dance a lot, but I love to run. And I love to run and I love to practice breathing. And running is a form of breath work for me and a form of dance. And I actually feel myself finding my true posture when I go for a long run. So I do long, slow running. And then the final piece is story. So I love to read. I love to read stories. So I read, quite often I should probably read some more business books, but I don't. I love to read stories. So any books that, we've meaning through story, I absorb those. And any chance I get to listen to someone's story, I listen intently. And I ask really good fucking questions. So if you're feeling a bit uninspired, go and ask someone some really good questions and learn from them. Go and
Amazing.
spend time with. Ask the old dude that you see at the coffee shop. Where do you come from? Like go, and even if he tells you to fuck off, that's that's a story that you get to then tell when someone you'll create a story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are some of your go-to story books, or what are some books that you really enjoy that some of our
Yes.
readers might want to go pick up and explore
Mm.
themselves?
Awesome, man. Thanks. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. It's a great book. I've just finished devouring that. It's such an incredible book. Such an incredible book. What's some other ones that I've read? Let me just. There's another book called Braiding Sweetgrass. It's a beautiful book. It talks about the power of ancient wisdom through a scientific lens as well. Like they tell stories about ancient cultural practices, and this lady's like a biologist or a scientist, and she weaves both science and spirit, and it's a really great book. I love that. The obviously Iron John, which is a really great book. It's just so profound, the story in and the hero's journey in that. Bro, like even like Lord of the Rings. Like I recently rewatched Lord of the Rings. I'm like, I actually want to read that. That's a really incredible book. It's an incredible story. Like that as well. And then the final book that I highly recommend, man. And I think that this is like an unsung hero, the unsung hero of men's work, which is grief. There's an incredible book called The Wild Edge of Sorrow, and it's been a really confronting book to read.
Check it out. Sounds like a good one. The Wild Edge of Sorrow.
It'll be beautiful for you coming into your marriage, man. It's like, what are you letting go of, man? You're letting go of, you like as you come towards marriage, there's something that you'll have to grieve the old. You have to grieve Daniel that wasn't married, the unmarried version of you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And Jacob, just as we wrap it up, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Gathering of Men. When's it happening? Where's it happening? Where can guys find out more information, get their tickets? Would love to hear about that.
Amazing, man. So the Gathering of Men is a 4-day men's retreat. We bring together a variety of really inspiring world-class facilitators to lead this event. So it's a convergence of communities. So it's not just me running it. It's not just the Jacob Show or Ryan, my partner who runs it with me, or Luke and Scotty, my partners who run it with me. This is a real coming together of many different communities to experience the diverse range of men's work available. So over the 4 days, you're going to get access to a variety of all-in experiences. And then there's also a little choose your own adventures opportunities to go to different workshops led by different facilitators. So if you're there to learn about relationships, we've got amazing workshops on relationships. If you're there to go through some real transformative experiences, come and experience the transformation workshops. If you want to educate yourself and learn about purpose, learn about wealth, learn about the stages of manhood, learn about the archetypes, go to the education workshops. We've got something for everyone. We do a big breath work. We do a huge, big warrior process. We've got Robert Glover, the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy, coming to offer a keynote and speak about the importance of the work of moving beyond the nice guy. We have an indigenous dancer by the name of Waniga, who leads us through how to turn movement into art. And he's incredible. We have an incredible musician, Murray Kyle, teaching us how to activate the voices of man and harmonize our voices and use them as a way for positive and powerful change in the world. We have Yusuke, our incredible head chef, who's going to be cooking up food that you did not know existed. All organic, all whole foods, all powerfully designed to feed you and your fire over the 4 days. Yeah, that's it. It's a fair bit. And bros, this is $999 Australian. It's the cheapest. It's the
That
highest
sounds like a
quality.
bargain.
Yeah, it's the highest quality experience you'll get for that price. And we do it because we believe in the hearts of man. We do this as a service to our community. This is, we run our academy, we do our trainings, we do a whole lot of other stuff, but we run the Gathering of Men as a service to the prayer that we all share, which is to create a world where men are valued, women are safe, and children can play.
Amazing. Let's wrap it up on there. Jacob, thank you so much for your time, your attention. It's incredibly valuable, and we really appreciate you spending the last hour and 20 minutes with us here talking about your mastery, your vision, and what you're bringing into the world. So we'll link everything to get in touch with Jacob, the Gathering of Men, the event. Jacob, where if people want to reach out to you, maybe they got some questions about your coaching or the event, is it email? Is it Facebook? Where can guys find you?
Amazing. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram at the Jacob O'Neill, or if you find me on Facebook, I'm just Jacob O'Neill, but I normally respond to most of the questions over on Instagram. And happy to, if you're looking for something that I haven't got, I've got a really great network of other men's coaches and people in my field as well. So I'm always able to direct you, at least, if I'm not your flavor, somewhere that's, filled with value.
That's awesome, Jacob. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, guys. Go check out the links, go plug into Jacob's world, everything he's got going on, doing amazing work. So we'll wrap it there. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, everyone.